Okay, does anyone else feel like this year is going by so fast? Because I cannot believe I'm already doing an April TBR. This is just ridiculous. But anyway, hi, my name is Jamie. Welcome back to another video. So today, as the title says, I am just going to be talking about the books that I plan on reading in April. I've selected 8 books and I'm very excited about all of them. I'm not sure if I will get to all of them, and hey, I might be in the mood to read something completely different. So you might even see completely different books in my reading vlogs for April. But regardless, I just thought I'd talk about the 8 books that I've chosen. And yeah, before we get into it though, I do want to talk about something very exciting that arrived in the mail for me this week. And that is this delicious, cozy blanket from EMPOSIA. I have seen a lot of people talk about EMPOSIA and I've always wanted a blanket. And when they reached out to me and offered me one just to mention in a video, this isn't even sponsored, they just sent me a blanket for me to talk about. And I was so excited. Of course, I jumped on that opportunity because they are just gorgeous. Look at this amazing fluffy lining. And also the best thing about them, they are hooded blankets. So they've got a little button moment here for you to cozy up in. I absolutely love it. The design I chose is this deer one. I will move back so you can see. It's got all the books and stuff hanging off it. Oh my god, I absolutely love it. So thank you so much, EMPOSIA, for sending it to me. I'm just beyond excited to curl up in the winter months and read in that blanket. And I also have a link down below which gives you 10% off. So if you head to emposia.com/COZYJAIME, you will automatically get 10% off your order. I definitely recommend it because there are so many good designs on there, and honestly it's just the perfect bookish item for winter. Makes an amazing gift to your bookish friends, and yeah, I absolutely love my blanket. So thank you very much, EMPOSIA. Let's get straight into talking about the books I want to read in April. So the first book that I want to talk about is a book that I received from HarperCollins recently. It is a new release and it is All Our Hidden Gifts by Caroline O'Donoghue. This is a YA horror book, I believe, like horror fantasy, and as soon as I saw that HarperCollins had this, I was immediately like, please, I want it. This just looks incredible and incredibly just right up my alley. Basically, we follow a girl called Maeve. One day she goes up to her basement and finds an old tarot card deck. And so when she decides to do a reading for her friend, a really weird card that wasn't originally in the deck comes up and she accidentally releases a demon. That just sounds so fun, so spooky. I love everything like tarot related. I have 2 tarot decks in my collection and I just love doing readings for my friends and family. So a tarot related horror book is just sounds incredible. I cannot wait to get to this. It's just under 400 pages, so it will be a very quick, easy read, and I'm super excited. I haven't seen anyone talk about this book, so I'm just very, very keen to get to this. The next book I want to read in April is Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. This is like a fantasy dark academia for YA readers. This follows our main character who goes to a new like kind of elite boarding school, and when she's there she discovers that there is a secret society of demon hunters, and I think she decides to join them. I'm not totally sure, but like demon hunter, there are a lot of demons in this TBR for some reason, but anyway, demon hunters, elite boarding schools, secret societies, that is literally everything I have ever wanted out of a book. Fantasy and dark academia as well, like 2 of my favourite genres. So thank you, Tracy Deonn. I'm obsessed. I cannot wait. Also, shameless plug for one of my best friends. This is the book club pick for Books with Chloe's Patreon in April, so obviously I'm going to be reading it with my friends as well, and I'm very excited. The next book I want to read in April is a big one, and it's one that I've had on my TBR for so long, so I really need to get to this. It is The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. The only reason I haven't read this yet is just because it's so big and so daunting, but because I'm very much in my fantasy mood reading a lot of fantasy, let's finally do it. I mean, I read The Burning God in March, which is a huge fantasy, so I'm sure I can just read another huge fantasy. This one is over 800 pages, and I think The Burning God was just under 700, so it's just only a little step up, you know. I actually got a comment on one of my videos from Kevin from Irish Reader saying he wanted to buddy read this with me because he has wanted to read it for ages as well. So Kevin, I'm literally taking you up on that, and this is your public call out that we're doing it in April, just so you know. I think this is a fantasy that follows a bunch of different storylines and a bunch of different characters. We are set in a queendom, which is so amazing. I'm sick of kingdoms. Give me queendoms every single day. And also there's lots of dragons. There's a female-female relationship. I don't really know the specific ins and outs of the story, but very excited to jump into a big fantasy world with lots of different plot lines, kind of like Game of Thrones style, I guess. I'm not sure. It's also standalone as well, so this is the only book of this that I will need to read, and I'm just really excited. So Priory of the Orange Tree Fog coming soon, I guess. The next book I want to read is one that was on my 21 books to read in 2021, and that is Delta of Venus by Anais Nin. I've been reading a lot of romance recently, so I want to finally get to this very classic romance erotica book. I believe this is very intense. Anais Nin is like the pioneer of erotic fiction, so obviously I'm very invested in getting into this. It's also a collection of short stories or just a collection of sexual encounters. So either way, it sounds like a good time. So definitely going to be reading this very soon. Not to spoil any content on my channel, but I'm really keen on doing a romance themed 24-hour readathon very soon. So I think this would be a good pick for it as well. So like, I want to read like a bunch of different romances. So like fantasy romance, classic romance, dark romance. I just think that'd be so fun. So yeah, definitely want to get to this sooner rather than later. And now I have 4 library books that I picked up that I really want to get to in April, or kind of have to because I will have to return them soon. But yeah, 4 library books, so let's get into those. The first one is The Gilded Wolves by Roshani Chokshi. This is a YA fantasy. It is a heist set in Paris, and we all know I love a heist book. I've heard mixed things about this, but I think in more kind of recent months, a lot of people have definitely been hyping this up and actually reading it and having their own opinions on it and being like, actually this is really good. Literally all I know about it is that it's a heist set in Paris, and our main character collects a ragtag bunch of humans to pick up some sort of ancient treasure and steal it from somewhere. Guys, you know how a heist works. That's essentially just the extent of it. I'm very excited to get to it. This library copy though, look at those deckled edges. I'm obsessed. It also matches my bracelet. Again, obsessed. Sorry, I'm talking about the most superficial things in this TBR. I'm so sorry. But anyway, cannot wait to read this. I have been wanting to read this for so long, so let's finally get to it. Next I have another horror book that I want to read, and it is We Sold Our Souls by Grady Hendrix. This is a horror book about a death metal band. I believe our main character is from this death metal band that has previously broken up. She's now kind of living a pretty shit life because her heyday of her band is over, and then some really kind of shitty, shady stuff goes down with one of the ex-band members, and a lot of like past history, past secrets come to the forefront, and she gets the band together for justice or retribution. I'm not sure, but it just looks so good. I really hope there's some like satanic vibes in here, but who knows. It looks like it should have satanic vibes. But I love Grady Hendrix. I really love Grady Hendrix's book, My Best Friend's Exorcism, so I'm very excited to read this one as well. Next we have Full Disclosure by Cameron Garrett. If I'm not into fantasy, I'm into the hard-hitting contemporaries. I have said that a lot on my channel recently, but those are honestly the books that I have been gravitating towards. This one I'm really excited for. It looks like it's going to be really sad. Our main character lives with HIV and she hasn't told anyone. And she thinks that it's her own secret until an anonymous note arrives in her locker of someone threatening to expose her to the entire school. That just sounds really tough. It sounds like our character is going to be going through some really, really hard times. So yeah, I don't know, I'm ready to cry all the tears in this. A lot of my friends have read it and said that it's really good, which is basically the reason I picked it up from the library. And I just love extending the books that I have read that are about really hard-hitting topics. So I've never read a book about a character who lives with HIV, so I think it's going to be a very interesting read, a pretty new read for me, and yeah, I just can't wait to get to this. I wouldn't say I'm excited because I know it's going to be really sad and heart-wrenching, but I do really want to read it soon. And next we have a really big chunky book, and that is To Sleep in a Sea of Stars by Christopher Paolini. This is like 900 pages. It's huge. It is a science fiction book, and I believe this was the Goodreads Choice Awards winner for science fiction in 2020, which is the entire reason that I picked it up, because I do want to read most of the Goodreads Choice Awards winners. We follow a female main character who finds like an alien colony, and then a war erupts in space. That's kind of the only things that the synopsis is giving me. But I love that we're following like a female astronaut, a female hero. I absolutely love that. I feel like a lot of science fiction that I've read only really follows men, so I'm really excited to see how our female heroine does. And yeah, it is a really big book, so I think it's going to be the sort of book where if I read the first 100 pages and I'm not gripped, I will probably put it down because I don't really want to waste my time reading such a huge book. But I also actually haven't seen anyone talk about this. I only know that it won the Goodreads Choice Award. So if you have read this, let me know if it's worth it. I really do want to get to it before I have to return it, and I want to get to it soon because I know I'm going to have to take my time with it. Also, that cover is just stunning. I'm sorry. How gorgeous is that? But yeah, those are all the books that I want to read in April. Let me know if you have read any of them and let me know your thoughts. Also, comment down below what you're planning on reading in April. I'm really excited. I love watching TBR videos. So again, thank you so much for watching. Before I end the video as well, thank you so much to EMPOSIA for sending me the blanket. And a reminder that the link is down below if you want to get one for yourself. And I'll see you very soon in another video. Bye!
But she said, Cindy, don't cry.